Hey y'all, welcome to your help video for quiz 4.01a. So this is all about an equation of a circle in standard form. Alright, and this is standard form for you. You have x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared equals the radius squared. And r still stands for the radius, and hk stands for the center of the circle. But I want you to notice something. This is a really important thing to notice. Notice in your equation it's a negative h, and in the center it's a positive h. Same thing with k. Notice it's a negative k, and then it changes to a positive k. That just means that we need to change the sign. If I could spell change correctly. Whoops. Whenever we go to write down the center, make sure you are changing the signs of h and k to get the center correct. Alright, so let's look at some examples. This one says the center of the circle is at -2, -7, and its radius is 6. What is the equation of the circle? So remember, when we plug in our h and our k into our formula here, we need to make sure that we change the signs. What we're really doing, the long way of doing it, is writing x minus and then plugging in h, which is a -2. And then we're writing y minus and we're plugging in k, which is a -7, equals the radius squared, so 6 squared. But as you can see, two negatives here, a minus and a negative, make a positive. And two negatives here make a positive. And 6 squared would become 36. So you can plug it into your formula every time this is a formula on your formula sheet. Or you could just remember when you plug in for h and k, you have to change the sign. So the -2 becomes a +2. The -7 becomes a +7. And then the radius, we have to square it. So 6 squared is 36. All right. So let's look at some graphs. This one says which graph shows the equation of the circle. Now think about it. There is no x plus or minus a number here. If there's not a number there, you're really adding 0 because you're not adding anything or subtracting anything. So we have x plus 0 squared and then y plus 5 squared equals 25. So the first thing I like to do is I like to identify the center of the circle. So I'm going to take my two values with x and y, and I'm going to make sure that I change the sign. Well, you can't change the sign of 0, but the 5 would become a -5. So the center of this circle has to be located at 0, -5. 0 on the x-axis, -5 on the y-axis. So this center says 0, +5, nope. This one says 5, 0, nope. This one says -5, 0, nope. And this one says 0, -5. So we've actually already figured out our answer. But I also want to just point out that the radius, it usually equals the radius squared. So 25 equals the radius squared. So to solve for radius, you would just square root each side. So the radius would equal 5. And so from the center, you just want to check to make sure that they go 5 in each direction, which they do. So this is your correct circle. Oops, don't know what just happened there. That was strange. All right. The equation of the circle is this. What is the center and the radius? All right, so for our center, we just take the number with x and change the sign. Take the number with y and change the sign. So our center is going to be -4, +5. And for the radius, remember in the equation, 121 equals the radius squared. So to find the radius, you would square root each, and the radius would be 11. So this would be our answer. All right, one of the parking lot lights at a hospital has a motion detector on it, and the equation is this. And that describes the boundary within which motion can be sensed. What is the greatest distance in feet a person can be from the parking lot light and be detected? Okay, so first of all, I like to visualize things, so I went ahead and put a graph in here. The center of this circle is at -10, +8, and the radius would equal 4. So if I wanted to just sketch a quick graph, I would put my center at -10, +8, and then I would go 4 in each direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the radius. You would go 4 in each direction. And that's how you would sketch that circle. But think about this. If this is our light right here, and anything inside of this equation is going to set off the motion light, then let me just highlight. No matter where you're standing, anywhere inside of this circle, you're going to set off the light. This is kind of a creepy problem. This is like a problem for burglars and creepy people. How to not set off a motion detected light. But if you're standing anywhere inside of this yellow area, you're going to be detected. The light's going to come on. And it wants to know the greatest distance the person can be from the light. Well, the furthest away they could be is somewhere on this red circle, right? Anywhere outside of the circle, and they're not going to be detected. Anywhere inside, it's not going to be the furthest away. And that distance from the light to the edge of the circle is 4 units. So basically, you just have to figure out the radius, and that tells you how far away the furthest they can be is. Okay, there's another problem like that. Carlos plants a circular planter wall on a computer. He determines that the circle that defines the part of the planter wall that gets watered by the sprinkler is this. What is the diameter in meters of the circular area that gets watered by the sprinkler? Okay, so we have this sprinkler and it's spraying out water in a circular path, right? It's going all the way around. That's a beautiful picture of a sprinkler spraying water, in case you're like, what is she drawing? It's not an onion. It's a sprinkler spraying water. Okay, so if you wanted to sketch this, you certainly could. You don't have to. We want to know, but I'll just go ahead and show you. I like to graph things. So the center is at +10, -12, and the radius is 6. So you would start over here at +10, -12. And then you would count 6 in each direction. This is going by 2. So 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6. And it wants to know the diameter that gets sprayed by the sprinkler. Well, the diameter is all the way across the circle. So you could just take your radius and multiply it by 2. Or you could add 6 plus 6 to get 12. So the diameter there would be 12. All right, y'all, good luck on this quiz. And don't forget, when you write down the center, change your signs. And when you do the radius, take the square root.